Hello friends, this is part 16 of web application development series, and in this session we'll start creating our own style sheet. So as we have studied in earlier section also, like style sheets are for creating styles that can be applied to various elements. Then styles can be applied in line with an element in HTML. We have already done this, but we'll again see with an example. So this is my empty web page. What I will do is I will have one heading element. Let us say heading 1, or I'm heading 1. Okay, save the changes and launch it at live server. If you see, this is a nice heading. I'm a heading 1. So as the slide said, we can apply the styles inline. Okay, so if I want to change the color to red, what I can do is style color is red. Okay, save the changes and view the web page. Okay, I'm adding 1. Now I'll create one or two more headings. I'll have h1 and say I am another heading 1, and I'll have one more h1, new heading 1. Okay, so the contents are like this. As you can see that we have applied the styles in line with this element, h1 element, and we've said okay, the color is red. So when I launch this page, this heading color was appearing in the red. Okay, but another two headings are still in black color. So if I want to change the color, or if I want all the h1s in the red color, I have to copy this style with this h1 element. This is called inline styling. Okay, this is called inline styling. Remove it, sorry. So I made all the heading ones color as red. Okay, save the changes and now view the web page. If you see, all our headings are appearing in the red color. But consider such situation, there are so many headings, then you have to replicate the style everywhere, and it's very tedious exercise. Okay, so another thing is styles can be defined. Third point, if you see, styles can be defined in the head section of HTML page. That can be applied to elements in body section. Okay, so what we can do alternatively is we can define this style in the head section. So let us do with an example again. So in the head section, what I will do is I'll define a style type is equal to text CSS. Okay, then to create a style in head section, we write like this: style type is equal to text CSS, then element selector name. There are various type of selectors. We will discuss each of them. H1 is the element selector, head 1, and for it we can define the style. For example, we say color is, for example, let us say blue. Okay, and for this h1 element I will remove this style. Okay, and save the changes and view the web page. So if we can see that this heading is in blue color, another two headings are in the red color, because the style that you have done with the element itself takes precedence. So if we remove them also, then all the heading ones of this HTML page will turn to be blue color. Sorry, save the changes and now view the web page. So every heading is in blue color. Similarly, if I say for a paragraph, a P element, I'll say okay. First, I'll create a paragraph. I'll create a paragraph and I'll write some content. I am or say lorem. Simply type lorem. Press tab key. It generates some random text for me. I'll copy this two more times to create a little big paragraph, and I'll copy this paragraph once more. So what if if I save the changes and see the web page, my paragraph looks like this. Okay. What if I want to change the font? One thing is I can style here itself for each paragraph, or another way is I can define the style in head section also, right? So if I define the style here, how can I do? I'll write font family. I'll select any one of them, press save, and view the changes. Now we can see that the font of each of the paragraph has been changed, right? Okay, so there could be situations like you do not want that the styling of this paragraph has to apply on all paragraphs, or you may not want like this blue color has to be applied at all heading ones. So for that there are other selectors as well. So we'll discuss them in other sessions. Okay. As of now, what we have done is till now we have defined the styles with the element itself or in the head section. Okay. Now consider a situation like where there are a lot of elements and they have to be styled. So either you can style them in head section or with the element itself, but it's not a good practice. Designing is designing has to be done in a separate file to follow the rule of separation of concerns. Separation of concern is like related logic has to be there in the separate file so that maintenance of application becomes really easy. So alternatively, we should design or we can design these styles in the separate CSS file. Okay, in our previous video session also we have seen that we had downloaded one CSS file and linked that file in head section. So again we'll do that. So first we'll create our very first style sheet. How to do that? Simply create a new file. Let us say name is mystyle.css. This name can be anything, my style can be anything, but extension has to be a CSS, that stands for cascading style sheet. Okay, right? So the general rule to define the style in CSS is just like we discussed that in the previous session also, selector name, then property 1, value 1, property 2, value 2, right? Selector name is, for example, I want selector name is h1, heading 1 selector name, and I want all the heading ones to appear in blue color. Okay, put a semicolon, save the changes, go to test.html page. I'll remove this style from this head section. Okay, and save the changes first and launch the web page again. Okay, I can see that all the headings are in the black color. In my CSS, I have defined that all the headings should be blue color, but still the headings are appearing in the black color. The reason being this style sheet is not being linked yet with test.html. So just like previous video session, I will use the link element. If you have forgotten, I'll show you. Link element is used to link external resources to HTML. To link external CSS to HTML file, we can use link element in the head section as below. Link rel is equal to style sheet. href, just like anchor tag, href will use href attribute and the name of the CSS file, right? So in the HTML file, I'll define link element rel is equal to style sheet and href attribute is equal to the CSS name. CSS name is my style.css. Okay, and make sure that my style.css is in the same directory as test.html, or else you have to give the relative path. Okay, so now save the changes and launch your web page. Now our headings are appearing in the blue color, so our style sheet is connected with this HTML. Okay, now paragraphs. If you come to paragraph, we can define that selector for paragraph as well. If I want my paragraph color to appear in red color, for example, red. Okay, save the changes, and now view the changes. The paragraph is in the red color now, right? If you want some margin for paragraph, you can do that. Just add margin, just say 5 rem, save the changes, and our paragraphs are margined now. If you want to change the font, you can do that also. So you, you can set any number of property, right? Font family, let us say I want to set this font, save the changes, again view the changes. So font is also changed, right? So there are so many properties, we'll discuss many of them, right? So what we have done in this session is like we can define the HTML in the we defined this we defined the style with the elements itself, then we defined the styles in the head section explicitly. Now we define the style in separate CSS file, that is my styles.css, and it is also the always the preferable choice to define the style in separate CSS file to make the code easily read and maintainable. Okay, that's it for this session. In the next session we'll study about selecting colors in CSS, setting up background color in CSS, and creating border in CSS. Okay, thanks for listening and have a great day.